New exotic, and here's the deal. Wicked Implement, it's a jack of all trades, master of none. And what you find yourself doing all the time with it is playing a nice little game of would you rather. What this truly is an option. It's always going to be there. It's going to be up to you to use it. Nothing more, nothing less. But with that said, I want to talk about the things that you can do with it. I think it's a lot better than what people have been led to believe. There's a good amount of synergy here. And once we change the way that we think about it, what this thing actually is, you start playing to that. But before we get into it, a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Ipsos I Say. Ipsos I Say is a company that's been around for over 50 years and rewards people for their time. Super easy, guys. Sign up, answer some simple survey questions, and you earn gift cards and rewards. And there's a ton of different gift cards to choose from, but I go with the virtual visa option. Looking to get the new season pass or maybe a battle pass for a game that you've been playing? They've got you covered. Or maybe some boosters for your favorite mobile game. You can just use your virtual visa rewards. Fill out your profile and start getting into the surveys, and the surveys are tailored to your interests. Super quick and easy to complete. And think about some of the downtime that we have. You can do these anywhere. You're stuck at the DMV, you can take a survey. You're waiting in a lobby for your friends. Maybe you have some downtime in between your college courses. You can take a survey. So click the link in the description and start earning rewards with Ipsos I Say today. The first reaction, and I think that I'm having this reaction because I'm a solo player, it is better than what people think. And what I want you to do is change the way that you think about this thing. Wicked Implement is a stasis 180 RPM scout. Really wish it wasn't a 180. That's okay though. Exotic trait, creeping attrition. Rapid precision hits cause targets to become slowed. Special trait on the weapon, precision final blows while creeping attrition is active, create a stasis shard that will return to you. When you collect that shard, it refills the magazine. The catalyst, which I can't showcase, those shard pickups overflow the mag. So what, 30 rounds? That's a good thing. Okay, the first thing, all of this together, what this scout is, it's the first and only non-special weapon in Destiny 2 to have chill clip. The perk on it, that's what it is. And the chill clip text, when you're above 50% mag, your shot's slow. But this thing, it's just rapid precision hits. So it's like a primary ammo riptide. And again, as a solo player, I find value there. Because if you've used it, the whole chill clip factor goes a long way. I'm on Shadebinder, Ice Flare bolts in some plays. Sometimes I don't have them, but just alone by itself as a primary from a distance, it shreds ads. Because in harder content, like in this top level Lost Sector 1840, I'm 20 below power, the ads are a little bit more tanky, so it's just simply gonna freeze them. And when it freezes them, you can shatter, do some ad clear. All the while, that perk's gonna be up, those shards are coming in, you're refilling the mag, not having to reload. But again, if you've used it, built in, it has 2 champions covered out of the gate. When you slow and overload just by rapid precision hits, it's gonna stun them. Just land shots unstoppable. Land those shots enough to freeze, you break it, and you stun them. But the third anti-barrier, 20 or more levels below power in 1840, it applies so much slow so fast, you stun lock them from a distance. And while stunned, ideally, you could switch to an ad, headshot final blow them, the shard's gonna come to you, overflow to 30 if you have the catalyst, and just keep going. So yeah, it's a little game of would you rather. Would you rather go in there with the Riptide or be in the back? Would you rather have, let's say, Leviathan's Breath to stun Unstoppables, do damage with Leviathan's Breath, or tap them with this Scout, stun them, and then switch to, I don't know, a bait and switch Apex Predator? I'm telling you, this thing's fine. It has a lot of play. It's a long-range Riptide, a long-range chill clip weapon. So to me, that is special. I will use this. Really good for solo play, I'm finding. Then we have the synergy with the fragments, the crystals that come to you with that crystal. We have Rhyme. Collecting it, you get an overshield. We have Refraction, defeating slowed enemies, and spoiler, most are gonna get slowed, grants class ability energy, so an upkeep on your class ability on most kills. We have Hunger. You get melee energy from collecting those shards. Conduction. If you're on Glacial Harvest, freezing at a distance, those shards can and will come to you, along with the shard that you're getting from the Scout. I don't see issues here, guys. I really don't. I think all of this is really, really good. But it is a big game of would you rather, because if you run it in, let's say, a GM, that's what it is. It's a Riptide at a distance. And that's a good thing. Chill clip, just keep landing hits. You're gonna find you don't have to reload. Definitely if you have the catalyst. And worth noting, the shard that comes out doesn't work with something like collective action. So with that perk, if you have, let's say, Tachyon Force, with collective action, picking up a stasis shard, you get 20% more damage for 7 seconds. This shard doesn't proc that perk, but if you were to get the shard from, let's say, Glacial Harvest, it will work. So that feels like a bug, kind of feels bad, but even in this scenario, like, would you rather do that or just simply switch to a Harmony weapon? Or with Tachyon specifically, Controlled Burst? most would just go another route. And who's to say you can't run something like Strand, right? We have Threat of Isolation. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing burst. So when you lay into them, you will slow them, you will freeze them, you will sever them. Maybe have Unravel on them to keep hitting them. All of this is a good thing to me. There's a ton you can do. Now for the Crucible, not really made for there. I did find though, the third shot slowing your target helps you win duels. I felt that a lot. When I landed that third, a good amount of the time they missed their fourth and I was able to win the duel. And I tried different things. One of them was Rain of Fire, get a kill with the fusion, you're granted Radiant. Okay, cool. Switch to the Scout and now we're 3-tapping. That's great, but when you get in that situation, you're like, why not just go Radiant in the first place with Gunslinger? Or land a melee with Celestial Fire on Dawnblade? Or whatnot, become Radiant that way. And then when you start thinking about that, you're like, well, if I'm looking to 3-tap with the 180 Scout, I should just be using the Hung Jury box breathing. It's things like that. A big game of would you rather. And a lot of those choices are very obvious. Like you would be using the box breathing Hung Jury, but sometimes as an option, it is a good pick. This thing's made for PvE for sure. And that's what it is. Chill clip at a distance, can mess with all 3 champions. You can add in things like Sever. You can add in a whole bunch of synergy with stasis fragments. You can run Strand and do other things. I think it's good. The jack of all trades, master of none. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Wicked Implement down below. What are your thoughts on it? What are some of the synergy combinations you've come up with? And do you plan to use it for any harder content? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.